Welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio.
And I'm Josie.
And today we had a lot of interesting gaming news this week. Um, Lots of announcements. And before we begin, I just want to say, rest in peace to Kentaro Miura. That was a major loss to not just it was a major loss to like the culture, the nerd culture in general. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
I mean, there was so much inspired by his works. He is
yes.
like his creation has spawned so many other influential works. A good example is literally Dark Souls.
Yes. Yeah. One of our favorite games.
Yeah.
Uh, Dark Souls. Didn't Berserk also inspire Azura's Wrath?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm actually, funny enough, I'm playing that one on the side, and that's definitely very inspired by uh the Bada Shiva. I don't know how to pronounce it,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Um, so yeah, he had so much inspiration just across everything: movies, animes, games, comics, everything. I mean, the guy was just
Prolific.
prolific. And for those of you that don't know, he worked on like a bunch of mangas. He didn't just work on Berserk. So, you know, I read an article, I can't remember who it was by, but they talked about all the little known mangas that he worked on over the years. And they're much smaller series, they're like, some of them are only like 10 books or whatever. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, some of them are also unfinished.
yeah. Yeah. And that, that brings up the question, what's going to happen to Berserk? Because, for those of you that don't follow the manga, it's not done. It's on episode 41 right now, or
No, chapter
chapter 41.
363,
Yeah,
volume 41.
volume 41. Yeah. So yeah, it's not done. So I really hope that he he turned it over to someone he trusts in his estate. You know what I mean?
Well, unfortunately, he died of a heart condition,
Yes.
and at the tender age of 54, he was
Yeah.
quite young.
He was young. Yeah.
And according to the tweets of some of his assistants, they said that it kind of like came out of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how much of a, like, if there's some kind of like in the movie where it's like there's this hidden pamphlet that has everything, like the outline of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if that such a thing exists.
Yes.
So even if this were to find some kind of closure in the hands of someone else, it might not even be the same. And in that case, would you even want that? I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's okay to applaud his works
Hmm.
and appreciate what he has completed, even though
Yes.
it's not finished.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather it never be finished than it to be just milked as like some kind of cash cow. You know what I mean?
Fair, fair.
All right. So first story up. So this week was the Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary, and for those of you that didn't watch, basically they had some reveals as far as like there's a
Sonic
remastering.
Colors HD
Yeah.
remaster.
Now that was a Wii game, right?
That was on the Wii, but I
Yeah.
believe it was cross multi-plat. So it was also, I could be wrong, but I think it was also on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
Okay. So that's getting a remaster. Uh, then there's Sonic Origins, which we'll talk about later, and then there was some other things like some music announcements.
Yeah, some
Um,
concerts because the
yeah,
music is awesome.
yeah, and the main thing was at the end. They showed a trailer of Sonic running, and it was called Sonic Teams. and this was the symbol that Sonic carved out in the trailer. So now we have a little more information. They believe it's called Sonic Rangers.
Yeah, some of the people got into the code, and there was something about rangers within the code about it.
Yeah, I think we can actually pull it up.
And just to clarify, Sonic Colors only came out on the Wii and the DS. I was incorrect.
Okay. So here you see this. Um, they pulled this out of the video
Mm-hmm.
code. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's the game is actually referred to as Sonic Rangers. So that's most likely the title of the game. And apparently it's an open world game. So I mean, we kind of like touched on a new Sonic game earlier in the year, I believe. Um, so would this be something you'd be interested in an open world Sonic game?
Yes, definitely. As long as it looks good and plays well, I'd definitely be interested. It's unfortunate because, I'm a big fan of Sonic, and I say that as like someone that was raised with a Sega Genesis and playing Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. But in terms of the current generation of Sonic, I unfortunately have fallen off. Like, I will quickly pick up, like the Sega generations copies of like old Sonic titles, and then pick up and play them and remember and be nostalgic.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the more recent Sonic games, I'm unfortunately not as well versed. Like I own Sonic Colors, I just haven't played
Yeah.
it. And I heard Sonic Generations is great, haven't played it. The last thing I played was Sonic Mania Plus. And
Which that's probably the best newest release of Sonic.
exactly, it
Yes.
harkens back to that nostalgic
Yeah.
that I love. And so in terms of current generation Sonic, like I kind of haven't really gotten there.
Yeah.
So I hope this is something that can get me there.
Yeah, and I heard I was reading like Sonic Forces wasn't that well received. Is that true?
Okay.
Um
I'm actually not that familiar with the title.
okay.
I know that Sonic 2006, Sonic the Hedgehog, that came out on the Xbox 360, was definitely not well received.
Okay.
It's a kind of a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully this is legit and um I hate to say it but what's the creator's name? Yuji I
Not
forget
Yuji.
his last name.
Oh snap! I'm forgetting right now. When you said Yuji, I just went to Yuji Horii, but that's Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
So I'm actually blanking
It
as
starts with
well.
an N, right?
And
UG
I
and
can I can look it up.
yeah, look it up real quick. But
Uh,
unfortunately, he's kind of
he's not a part of the team.
well. That's a question because he's kind of his magic has kind of fallen off, and
Yuji Naka.
Yuji Naka, and that's evident with Balan Wonderland, which was not well received at all.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah,
It was weird because Balan Wonderland, I don't know, the initial release of that, and I'm just speaking out loud in terms of the feelings of the situation. Like initial release, it sounded and looked kind of cool, honestly. Like it felt very nice.
yes,
And I was like, yeah, I don't mind something new.
yeah.
Um as long as it's good. But then like I don't know, after the demo, there was like a concerted effort to just poo on the game, and it just has not performed well at all.
It's because
So,
the demo was bad.
and
That's
every button was jump. Even the
yeah,
directional buttons were jump.
and also
That was a joke.
you could barely jump.
Yeah.
You know, his the movements were so like minimal that people were like, "This doesn't even feel like a legitimate platformer. Like, why can't I actually run or jump?"
Yes.
So yeah, it just didn't have a good feeling, and yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, I would definitely be interested in trying an open world Sonic game. That seems pretty cool.
Yes. No, I agree.
Yeah. All right, next up. All right, so you actually sent this to me.
Hell yeah.
So Square Enix set to announce a new action RPG Final Fantasy spin-off. All right. The rumor states that Square Enix is working with Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo's in-house development team behind games like Ninja Gaiden, Neo, and perhaps Final Fantasy fighting games, Dissidia NT, which a lot of people aren't familiar with in the States, but it is huge in Japan. Um,
Well, it's a big arcade title.
yes.
And initially Dissidia came out on the PlayStation Portable.
Hmm.
But then Dissidia NT came out in arcades before it came out to consoles,
Yeah.
and it hit Japan like hard. It was like Final Fantasy in general is just a big
Yeah.
franchise, so it performed well in that regard. But over here, when it came out to consoles, it just did not do well like at all. The
Yeah.
support for that game is non-existent practically,
Yeah. And
which is unfortunate
it is
because it
unfortunate.
looks gorgeous. I actually own it and I played a little bit, but honestly, I preferred the PlayStation Portable versions of the game. The way that they did it now, forcing multiplayer like three on three character battles.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan.
I think the magic of it lies in the arcade. Um,
Yeah, I can see that.
because when I was in Japan a couple of years ago, I mean, I saw so many people that was the preferred fighting game in the arcade when I was in Japan. So that blew my mind. I was like, what is this? And then I was like, a Final Fantasy fighting game. Everyone was playing it. So yeah, I think the magic of that game really lies in the arcade, and unfortunately, America has kind of lost its arcade culture.
Unfortunately, correct.
So let's go back here. Um, let's see. The posted rumors go on further by assigning the game a genre, something akin to Neo or the Souls games, and suggesting it takes place somewhere in or adjacent to the world of Final Fantasy games on the NES. Our sources have corroborated this rumor and suggest the name of the game is Final Fantasy Origin, which, for those of you that don't know, there was Final Fantasy Origins released on the original PlayStation long ago.
Yeah, that had Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which were ports
Yeah.
of the NES games. Or sorry. Well, they were really well poorly done.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what's your take on this? What do you think?
I'm excited. I think this sounds awesome. I'm already a huge fan of Souls-like games. Um, and I really, really loved Neo. Neo and Neo 2 were phenomenal games. And Koei Tecmo, at least in my eyes, they have been doing really well with developing games for third parties.
Yes.
So, not their first party. I haven't really been too keen on their first party games like the Warrior series or anything like that. I just haven't been intrigued. But when it comes to them doing the Warriors formula with like something like Legend of Zelda,
Or
I'm in.
Persona 5.
Yeah, or Persona 5, yeah.
Yeah.
I still need to play Strikers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I loved the Fist of the North Star Warriors game. We talked about that not
Yeah.
too long ago. And so just hearing Neo, but I love Neo, so I'll give him that. But
Yeah.
I'm not too excited about the Ninja Gaiden collection that's coming out soon.
Yes. Yeah.
But Neo 2, phenomenal games. And to mix that with Final Fantasy and the huge bestiary that Final Fantasy has,
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what they can pull out. The question that I have here is because Neo is more combat combo heavy
Hmm.
compared to Souls-like games, and
Hmm.
it's because of the Japanese martial arts that they incorporate into the game.
Yes.
So I wonder how that will translate to something akin to the medieval combat that at least that's the idea that you get from the setting of Final Fantasy.
Yes.
So how will that work? Because Demon Souls isn't like a combo game.
No.
Combo combat game.
No. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. But I feel like you said, if they're working with a studio like Koei Tecmo, then they're on the right track.
Yes. No. I'm excited to see what will come out of that.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah. All right, next up. So this was another big announcement this week.
Yeah, Yuji Horii, there you go.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate revealed on Unreal Engine 5. Yuji Horii, it's not turn-based, darker and for adults. So I assuming you saw the trailer.
Well, I mean, it's a teaser. There's barely anything in
Yeah.
there.
Um, you're the resident Dragon Quest expert here. So
And it's
this
only because I played a few Dragon Quests. I haven't even played all of them,
yeah.
which is unfortunate because there's so many I do want to play.
There's so 35 years. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very long franchise. Um, so they did not reveal platforms, and so it says Yuji Horii was supposed to say something about the platforms, but was stopped. Um,
Interesting.
but it says that was definitely staged. Uh,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, while we didn't get platforms or release dates yet, Yuji Horii confirmed Dragon Quest 12 will have a worldwide simultaneous release, which makes me believe that it might be a multiplayer game. Um,
No, because Dragon Quest 11 was the same. Oh,
okay.
wait, no, it wasn't worldwide. Damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a hunch, but so yeah, since you're the expert here, what do you think's going on for Dragon Quest 12?
I actually don't know what's going on. I'm kind of flabbergasted myself. The biggest thing is literally going away from turn-based,
Yes.
which Dragon Quest has thrived in its traditional approach. Like it doesn't really change too much.
Hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why, it's kind of like comfort food.
Yeah.
But I find it really interesting that they're doing that, especially since a game that just came out, the Yakuza game, Like a Dragon, is
Yes.
very much inspired by Dragon Quest,
Yeah.
and it incorporated a turn-based combat system.
Hmm.
So I find that funny that they're like, "Hey, we're trying to be more like Dragon Quest," and Dragon Quest is like, "Nah, we're gonna flip the script."
We're gonna be more like Yakuza.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. And also the darker and for adults seems to be a theme that is going across a lot of JRPGs currently.
Hmm.
We see that with Tales of Arise, the new
Hmm.
Tales game coming out. Tales of Berseria was darker.
Yeah.
Wrong hand. And the new Final Fantasy 16, also darker for adults.
Yes.
So that's three different franchises
Yeah.
going along a similar tonal shift.
Yes.
So I wonder if this is, I don't know, playing into the aging fan base.
I think so because if you look at kids nowadays, they're mainly focused on mobile gaming. They're
Yes.
not really big into console gaming. You know what I mean?
Well, what about Fortnite?
Yeah, Fortnite, but they have mobile. You know what I mean? Like you could play Fortnite on your phone if you want. So it's one of those things where it's like I see most kids now just gravitating towards mobile games, and I wonder if where a lot of these like cute JRPGs were geared towards younger audiences back in the day when we were young. They're starting to realize that younger kids just aren't interested in these games anymore, and the older audience has shifted more towards Dark Souls and Neo and stuff like that. So maybe we need to evolve the franchise with the players.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
no, I feel that.
yeah,
Because usually I hear more like it's not so much evolve with the players, but kind of keep it tonally similar so that they can increase or attract the new players that are coming in.
yeah, but yeah.
Someone wants to say hi.
Oh, hey, I haven't met her yet.
Her name is Lucy.
Lucy, how you doing,
So
Lucy?
now we have a cat on the screen. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, she's a beautiful cat.
Thank you.
Um,
But yeah, no. So I'm actually excited for this new darker take, but The thing that wasn't in that that article was Dragon Quest 3, the
Oh,
HD 2D remaster or remake of Dragon Quest 3. That
okay.
looks awesome because they're taking the engine that they did for Octopath Traveler and taking an older game and putting that into that engine, which is like, we were already nostalgic for the look and feel of Octopath
Hmm.
Traveler because it like harkened back. It was an update, but it harkened back to those older beautiful sprites.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with Dragon Quest 3. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen that
And
yet.
if that also has a worldwide release, and if that sells well, they're like, we will redo Dragon Quest 1 and 2 in that system if you
Oh,
want. And I was like, oh my gosh, if they open the floodgates to that and people actually go and purchase, what else is on the docket that they
yeah.
can go ahead and do? Like Final Fantasy 1 and 2,
Yeah.
or dare I say, and John brought this up, a friend of the podcast, Chrono Trigger.
Oh, that would be magnificent.
So yeah, no, just that announcement was awesome. And then there's another announcement that I wanted to say just real quick.
Hmm.
Dragon Quest 10. That's an MMO. They're getting a new update, like a 5.5 or something, or 6.0
Yeah.
for Japan only. So that's the Dragon Quest 10 is only unfortunately been on Japan. I've been wanting to play it, but there is a Dragon Quest 10 offline game that they're
Oh.
making,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
just it's just offline. It's a simplified version of the MMO for single player, and that they didn't say that it was only for Japan.
Oh,
So
okay.
that hopefully we get that
Yes. Yeah, because we talked about before Dragon Quest being locked to American players.
locked away from.
Yeah.
Yes,
And that would be something you would be willing to try, right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I love Final Fantasy 14, and I already love the world of Dragon Quest. Like Dragon Quest 8 is literally one of my favorite JRPGs of all time.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I'd be super excited. And again, Koei Tecmo, they did Dragon Quest Heroes. So, and I love those games, Dragon
Yeah.
Quest Heroes 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. So next up, uh, so Guilty Gear Strive cut multiple modes and features, due to the whole situation, work restrictions. But ArcSys looking to add them post launch. So let's take a look here. Arc System Works revealed in a recent interview they were forced to cut a number of features and modes from Strive's release. Um, so let's look at these. I want to. They didn't list them out.
Hmm.
Um, and unfortunately, I didn't read this beforehand. Uh, yeah,
just so everyone knows, I'm sorry to blow up your spot, but she was just a little under the weather.
yeah. Just this week.
Yeah.
Okay. While this unfortunately meant we had to cut quite a few elements and modes from the game, we intend to add them in all updates of the game's release, so expect new content. Okay, so I hate to say it, but this might be one of those games you don't want to buy on launch. And I know that's not good for them because that's going to mess up their motivation to update the game. But
But it's really not fair to the
it's
player to
exactly.
release something that isn't complete.
Yeah.
I mean, Street Fighter 5 is an incredible example of that,
Yes.
where that initial base game was Poops McGee.
Yeah.
And
And
I felt like,
and you returned it.
the yeah, exactly. I returned it because I was like, this is BS. Like I should always just wait for Street Fighter's Ultimate or Ultra version that comes out. They even did that with Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's just I don't know. It's not a good look. I guess it's for the hardcores
Yeah.
that are like, yeah, I want it, or the people that just don't know better,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate
The
because once
hardcores.
you get in there and you're like, hey, this game that I paid for, it's nowhere near complete.
Mhm.
That's not a good feeling for anyone.
No. Um, but me personally, I just don't want to buy a physical version of a game that's incomplete. So Guilty Gear Strive, I might just get on PC because I don't want to get an incomplete disc version of the game. It's pointless to me, you know.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want everyone to know. So keep that in the back of your mind. Unless you're like a hardcore multiplayer gamer, then you should probably wait until they update the game. So yeah. All right. Next up. So Valheim devs show off mysterious new items coming in the Hearth and Home update. So essentially, they're working on an update where they're improving all the building of the game because the building in Valheim ended up being one of the main draws for many, many gamers, right?
Okay.
It's kind of like a more adult Minecraft. The combat system is more fleshed out, combat's harder, it's more brutal when you die. You have to go pick up your corpse to get all your stuff back. Um, you have to eat food or you get too weak and you die really easily. So the game is very it's geared towards more, you know, adult players that like more challenge, right?
Yes.
Now, not that's not saying Minecraft's not hard because it definitely is, and you do have to go pick up all your gear when you die. But the look and feel of it is more for grown-ups, right?
Yes.
Um, that being said, they put in a building system that was kind of like, I want to say they put it in as one of the main features, but it became the main drawing point for most players.
That makes sense.
They just loved that you could build like castles and, you know, homes and farms and whatever you want. And so people want more building options. That's basically what it's come down to. The building system as it is now is pretty rudimentary in the fact that there's not much like craftable items yet. So that's what this update's for. So let's take a look at what they say. Our work on Hearth and Home is still going well. The development update reads, the update is starting to take shape and the past month has been very productive with many new items and mechanics being finalized. There are, of course, many more things we want to make before the update is released as we don't want to rush it. And then they revealed this image. So to me, this looks like either like a stone tablet or a book or a scroll or something. And this looks like a window frame.
Okay.
So they might be adding cartography, which would be
Yeah.
great because you could share with other players locations of things. And they might be adding windows because right now it's either a hole in the wall or, you know, that's it. There's no window frame. So yeah, so this is their sneak peek. But yeah, um, I still have my server running. Most of my friends stopped playing. Um, but one of them it just built it runs his own building server because that's what he likes to do, just building massive structures, you know.
Of course.
So the game has something for everyone, and I'm looking forward to the update.
Nice.
All right. Next up, Deep Rock Galactic is getting an integrated 3-tier modding system. All right. We have decided to implement a modding platform that lets modders upload mods for players to install within the game. Ghost Ship explained in a recent update. So they're currently at work for creating this modding system. Let's see. When it's live, the system will work on 3 tiers of approval. each with different implication for your saves. The default approval level is called Sandbox, and you'll be able to use anything with this label. You can use these mods with regular saves that keep your progression on. However, servers that use these mods will be tagged in the server browser. Okay. And you'll only be able to jump in if you're running the same mods as the server is. Basically, you'll want to have a save file dedicated to sandbox level mods if you want to see stuff that changes the way rewards are doled out or that unlock items with usual progress. So yeah, this game, I want to say. Oh wait, hold on. Let's look at this. Next up is the approved for progression tier. While you won't be able to play on vanilla servers while these are installed, and your game might be tagged as using mods in the browser. However, you'll still earn the normal progression experience points while they're active. Interesting. Finally, there's a fully approved tier. Ghost Ship says this category is for quality of life and accessibility mods that change sounds or visuals without having an appreciable effect on gameplay. So they didn't give a date, but yeah, for those that don't know, this game is like a hidden gem of PC gaming. The game file is only 3 gigs. It's procedurally generated. It's like Left 4 Dead meets Minecraft. And you're these space dwarves that go onto hostile. What?
There's a lot of Minecraft going on.
I know. But it's not building. It's you're mining. So you're a space dwarf that mines for rare resources, and then you take it back to your base. You have a space base, which is pretty cool, and you upgrade yourself. You can upgrade all your equipment. You can unlock new items. But the Left 4 Dead aspect is when you're on these alien planets to steal resources, you get attacked in waves of hostile aliens. And there's different modes, so totally, this game is totally a hidden gem on Steam. And I would advise anyone out there who hasn't tried it and you have some friends, pick this game up. I mean, it's awesome.
Nice.
All right. So next up, Xbox developer responds to worrying report about the Xbox Series X. So, did you see the Modern Vintage Gamer video?
I did.
Oh, so what do you think?
I mean, I already knew. Well, I think a lot of people knew that the initial setup for Xbox Series X always needed an online component.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just to get the console started.
Yeah.
You really cannot even use it unless you have access to online.
Yeah.
That being said, the fact that you need even for physical games to contact online in order to approve the license. It's funny because that actually happened to me yesterday, and it was bizarre. I've been playing Resident Evil 8,
mm-hmm.
and I was playing it nonstop. I hadn't taken out the disc at all,
mm-hmm.
and it seemed that my system was having an issue just reading the disc. And so when I clicked on the icon to go ahead and start playing the game,
mm-hmm.
it was like we don't detect the disc, or something. It said something about license. We couldn't detect the license, and I was like, the disc is right inside. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So yes, it's disconcerting.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, because I haven't read this response.
Right,
I don't know how they're going to work around it, because literally they've made their entire foundation on
Xbox
contacting Xbox Live. They've done it since Xbox 360.
Yeah.
With Xbox games.
So let's see what they say here. All right. Having watched the video and read through the discussions here, my main takeaway is that we need to improve our on-console error messaging. The very generic and unclear error messaging clearly adds confusion and can lead to mistrust of the system, said the developer. There is actually an effort
Hmm.
initially to revamp licensing related error messaging, and I will ensure that this feedback is heard internally to continue driving that effort. The developer continues breaking down the claims and why they don't exactly add up in the way they are presented. Hopefully, some technical explanation here helps shed light on the issue. And I completely agree that we need to improve the error messaging here. Licensing is a complex area, especially with disks and external hard drives, and we can do better informing the user. I will take this away to the team and ensure we internalize this. Um, Not much. Not
No,
much.
if anything, it's weird because it's like the actual issue is literally being able to play your physical games
Yes.
while your system is not connected online.
Yeah.
And the thing that was being reiterated was the error code or the error messaging. So it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, when you buy a digital copy, you get a license to play the game digitally, right? Same thing with a disc. You get a disc license. You get a license to play the disc. Now that being said, the difference is that you have the physical media. You should be able to play it offline. That's the difference. And even a digital game that you download, you should be able to play offline too, unless it's a multiplayer game, right? So
Yeah, I agree.
um, I just think there's a lot of corners being cut, and they're just making it easier on themselves to deal with the DRM. Whereas if they wanted to fully flesh this out and make it so that there's an offline DRM checking thing, or you know, maybe look, I know what they want to do. They don't want to store any DRM checks or licensing on the internal drive because they know that hackers are eventually going to get in there and they're eventually going to be able to alter the DRM specifications. I know that's what they want to do. But like making everything server dependent isn't good for longevity of systems. I mean, that's just the truth. And we're seeing it now. Because why is everyone collecting older systems to play games? You know what I mean? They
Well,
don't.
I mean, the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Well, less the Xbox 360, more the
Yeah.
PS3. The situation where the fact that it needs to contact PlayStation in order to authenticate, and it's like, if that CMOS battery dies,
Yeah. Can't play.
you can't play games that you've already purchased on a console that you've already purchased.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can go ahead and play, and this is unfortunately, yeah, with video games. Like, I can play my Nintendo games on my original Nintendo console. I can play
Mm-hmm.
my PlayStation games on my original PlayStation console. And it's like the idea of ownership, they're chipping away at that from the consumer level.
Yeah. Um,
And that's anti-consumer, and we
it,
should really rally against that.
yeah, we need to push back against the idea of taking away physical ownership. We need to push back against that idea. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. If everything is rent, we're all going to end up poor and we're not going to have anything to show for it. It's just the truth, man. If you have to
Well,
rent every single thing you own, you can't build wealth.
well, you can't. Well, you said rent to own. That's not people. People already are accustomed to renting to experience,
Yes.
and then that's it. That that
Yeah.
that, that experience is what they've purchased.
Yeah.
A good example is Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a Netflix account. I have a Netflix account.
Yes.
Yes, those are movies, but you don't own those movies. You don't own anything.
Yeah.
You're literally just purchasing the ability to watch those items when they have them available, because sometimes they don't.
Yeah. And but there needs to be the option for ownership. Because if you take that way away 100%, like I said, there's no way to build any wealth in the world. Because you can't own anything, so you can't resell it. You know what I mean? You can't
Well,
collect anything. You
on,
can't
on the
appreciate
corporate
value.
level, they like that because they don't have to worry about licensing like this,
I know.
and
We,
they own everything, and then they can resell it as often as they want.
exactly. So we need to push back against this. And I strongly, strongly, uh, you and me are strong advocates of retailers like Limited Run or Super Rare Games, Special Reserve, because they're keeping it alive, and we need
Yes,
to, we need to support those. Because if you don't, we're gonna lose it. You know, we will lose it. All right. Next up, Switch Pro rumors intensify as new retailer listing appears online. So I hate doing these segments because we've done like 5 of them already, and they never really pan out. But this one's a little bit different because if it's true, it's evidence. If it's not true, then it's a hoax, obviously, and we got bamboozled here. But
if it's not true.
yeah, if it's not true. But essentially, this is something somebody posted, an Amazon listing for a new Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, the name itself seems suspicious. Why would they call it a new Nintendo Switch Pro? You know what I mean?
Well,
They,
yeah, the pro part is the weird part. The new Nintendo Switch makes sense.
okay, all right. Um, so it's unclear if this listing was legitimate or not, but the fact that it was removed not long after its discovery also raised some question. But you know what? If it's a false listing, of course they're going to remove it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Um,
I like the and Knuckles plus cats of the wild.
um, as highlighted on social media, Amazon Mexico has been responsible for past leaks such as Spyro Reignited Trilogy ahead of schedule. Um, so, a separate story following on from Bloomberg's report has suggested that Switch Pro will offer a Surface style tabletop flap USB 3.0 and Ethernet connectivity. So, yeah, it's just a rumor, everyone. Um, if it doesn't pan out, don't get mad at us. We're just telling you it's a rumor. I don't necessarily believe it's true, but I do believe that Nintendo is going to release an upgraded Switch because they kind of have to at some point. Game resolution is increasing, and the requirements to play newer games is going up. So they're going to have to boost their system somehow to play a lot of newer titles. So there you have it. Another Switch Pro rumor. Could be true. Could be fake.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's true. I hope that it comes out soon.
Yeah.
And if anything, it would be beneficial to people looking for a PS5 and Xbox Series X
Yeah.
because everyone will be flocking to get the new Switch Pro instead.
Yes. You're right. I mean, everyone's flocking just to get a regular Switch.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. Last up. All right. Along with the Sonic Rangers and the Sonic Colors, we have a announcement for Sonic Origins. And this is a new Sonic Retro collection that's going to include Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, which I know
that's huge.
that's huge. The Sonic CD part, or the Sonic 3 and the Sonic CD part are the biggest parts.
Yeah.
Sonic 1 and 2 have been re-released
To death.
to death, right? Those
I
are a
have
dime a
so
dozen.
many copies of them.
Yeah.
Not to mention the originals.
So let's just talk about why Sonic 3. So the reason why Sonic 3 is so hard to re-release is because the soundtrack, a lot of it was done by Michael Jackson, right?
Yep.
And his estate owns all the licensing to that, and it's very hard for them to re-release something that uses Michael Jackson's movie. So also Sega CD, in general, Am I right to say this? In general, Sega CD games have really not been shown love when it comes to re-releases and remasters.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. There's so
Um,
many things that are just locked on that console.
yeah.
Sega CD, Sega Saturn, like that's one of the reasons why those games are so expensive
Hmm.
is because they're just not available anywhere else.
Yeah. So re-releasing Sonic CD is huge. And I will definitely get this collection just to play Sonic CD in HD. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's it for the show this week, everyone. If you have comments on anything, feel free to leave a comment. If you have questions for us, leave a question. You
Please let
can,
us know.
yeah, you can also send us tweets at gamesibeat at Twitter. Yeah, that's it for this week, everyone.
Like and subscribe and keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Games I Speak. If you liked the episode, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.